think it's a good idea to figure out what did we do last time? And I feel like I want to ask Tyrus that, but
Because he watched the stream, it'll be fine.
oh
I
yeah,
watched a portion of the stream and didn't finish it.
dang,
I'll be
Oh
honest about that.
no.
we worked so hard on that for you.
I understand.
That's fine. We made a lot of jokes at your expense on the second half, so it's probably best.
It's to be expected.
I don't know. Tyrus was an MVP. He was really bringing the damage.
That is
Yeah,
true.
it was.
I did. That was one of the jokes. Was I was kind of hopeful that you would pick up some tips.
Other people
That's
can
all.
play my character better than I can play my own character.
I mean, that's universal. If I play an NPC or a player character as an NPC, they will go off on every roll. It'll be the best night of their lives. It never fails. So, would somebody like to talk about what happened? This is an easy one. This is a low ball of a review because, we didn't do too much. In fact, it was it was supposed to be a short session because we started late, and then we went long because we were enjoying ourselves and wanted to finish up, so kind of screwed that up. All right, fine, I'll do it. Just this once, but that's okay because I just told you guys that it was going to be an easy one, so suck it. You guys get the hard ones next time. We fought. Last session was a fighty session. We had ended the previous session by saying, there's a big thing coming because Rayun ate the not forbidden fruit, and now there's a stampede. And that was actually a pretty good description because at first, nope, scared my cat about something else. At first, the stampede was a bunch of small Gorogovas that were all running in your direction, kind of just pinballing around. And then there were large Gorogova all running around and pinballing all over the place. And then there was something that was definitely not a Gorogova and was really big and angry. Big old thorns, probably big enough to just swallow you whole. And mad, chasing down these Gorogova, and then now look at this, some humans or other analog humanoids. It's time to fight. Except, in the mix was also a mysterious stranger riding one of those Gorogova. And so, when the fight started, he took your guys' signal, or you took his signal. I forget who was signaling who. But he turned and burned, and while you guys fought, he mounted the thing and got into a pretty big fight, grappling the thing and climbing over it, while, frankly, as mentioned previously, Tyrus put on a freaking clinic.
He did.
Who was piloting Tyrus? Was it Try?
It was,
Yep.
Try.
Knew it.
So-
He's
so
way
if-
better at playing this game than me.
I mean, feel free to ask him for some pointers, but I even saw some potential there. That fight lasted for most of the session because it was a nice multi-phased session and there was a lot of chaotic crap going on, which was a lot of fun. But when it was over, suddenly it was very quiet because the man on the monster didn't really seem like he wanted to talk that much. A lot of short responses, not a lot of starting conversation going on. He did mention, hey, you should probably carve that monster. And the sentence I said may have been more than all of the words he said in the previous session put together.
It was all the words.
Yeah. You did impress upon him that you were working for the Culinarians Guild as associates, and he seemed to recognize that. He introduced himself as Molojori, and then like 30 minutes later, Mira finally realized, oh, wait, that's the first hunter that we were supposed to talk to.
Hey, to be fair,
Uh,
I thought maybe it was him and then thought, nah.
Yeah, that was a really great moment where she flat out said, that's not Molo Jory. And I was like, are you sure?
I was pretty sure, and I was wrong. I would have lost that.
Yeah, that was pretty great. In traditional party fashion, knowing who he was and how potentially important he may be, the party decided to ask him absolutely no questions or get any information from him whatsoever. But did spend a decent amount of time trying to guilt trip him into helping with your guys' hunt. And that
We
was
did.
fun.
It was great.
The most of it fell on some pretty deaf ears. He did not seem to give a crap. But eventually you wore him down, and I do mean you wore him down to convince him, all right, fine, I will help out with this real fast. So, with that, he invited you to follow him deeper into the island so that you could meet him at his camp. And I believe the instructions of meet me at my camp were where we ended the session.
Oh, but you forgot that we are going to try to steal something from him.
That's true.
And we guilted him into taking us back to his camp, even though he didn't want to.
Yeah.
That is true.
That is a very important part. He had a brief tick that a couple people caught on to where he checked his possessions, and a couple people may have seen that he had some sort of like book thing in his back pocket. So, let's get right to it. Before we go too far, before we march off into the wilderness, actually, first, it's probably safe. I'm going to put you guys back on this encounter so that, at the very least, Tyrus, who I hear listened to a bunch of stuff, but maybe didn't actually watch anything, can appreciate how big and scary this monster was.
Oh wow.
It was really big.
And really scary.
Yep.
I like how far away I am from it.
Yeah. I can temporarily remove this X so that you can properly appreciate how terrifying this thing is.
Oh no, it's back up.
Yeah, full health. Phase 3.
Yep.
So,
Feet.
Basically.
now that we've appreciated it, he's gone. And Molo, gone for different reasons, has started walking to the north.
Start walking to the north.
Everybody's pretty banged up, but I want to check with you guys and see, did you want to take care of anything before you walked off to his camp? Including, like, checking with each other about who is this guy. Does anybody know if he's the first hunter or anything?
Well, I think we talked about it. He is the first hunter.
Yeah, I'm not sure that stuck with everyone is all.
Oh.
Hey, who is this guy?
I do believe that is the first hunter.
Okay. I believe you.
All right, we nailed it.
Okay, I believe you.
If there's nothing you guys want to do, that's fine. We can move on. I just wanted to check first because I don't want to railroad you guys too hard.
If we were to take a short break, short rest, how likely would it be that we lose him and not be able to follow him to his camp?
He is at the moment walking roughly through the massive path that the Stampede and the Gravethorn made in the foliage, but it's hard to say for how long that will last. And also, you would definitely have to try and track him down because that short rest is going to be like an hour.
I think we should take a short rest at his camp
I think it would be a long rest, right?
or a long rest. We should rest at his camp.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's get you walking to the camp then.
First.
Waka waka waka.
Sorry, Try, was that something? Oh. Wow, I'm way in the weeds. Okay. And I didn't hear who that was on.
Me.
On yourself. That's probably a good idea.
That's
a
a
lot-
great idea.
It's a lot easier to inconspicuously touch yourself.
That's been my experience.
So, if there's nothing else, we can get you guys marching. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to politely ask Mira to join me downstairs and do not disturb.
That's your cue.
Sorry, I had to move some things around so that I didn't mess up the stream because I had the Discord tab hidden behind the Roll20 tab.
I thought about it and was like, man, I really wish I had the power to move people. But then I realized I was just looking at the Bowser gif and thinking about Jack Black.
Nice.
This isn't going to take very long. The only thing that I wanted to mention to you was this is a decent long hike, right? You guys are just in the wilderness, freshly mowed lawn thanks to the Gravethorn. So it's a pretty easy hike. And then just out of nowhere, in the back of your mind, you hear a pretty loud voice say, "Oh, finally. Thought I'd never be rid of that."
Is it my connection to the Emerald Dawn?
No, that was a lady's voice.
Oh, I know, but she was also connected to the captain.
That's true. It is also not Jacob's voice.
All right.
That's all.
That's it.
That's it. Like, if you perk your ears up to try and catch more, nothing else comes of it. Just one very brief, but fairly easy to pick up on statement.
And I hear it while we're walking.
Yep.
Do I hear it in my head or in the area around us?
Definitely in your head.
Excellent. Okay, great.
And I'll even give you, in case you are concerned that's not the case, no insight or anything required. Nobody else reacts.
Nice. Okay. Do I know? Do I recognize the voice as the guy that I saw in my vision, who we ended up playing dead with, or having him play dead? Do I recognize it as his voice?
I'm not 100% sure that we're thinking of the same person.
Oh, okay. I don't have my notes up, so I don't remember his name. But the guy that I saw him murder people, and then he
Oh,
was the
yeah.
one that was hired. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, the one that was hired to
Yeah.
kill Primrose. So.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely his voice.
Oh, okay. Oh, so we're still connected. That's exciting.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to throw that away. But that's all, yeah. You don't hear anything else from him. He doesn't, like, pick up any thoughts of yours that he responds to or anything.
Okay.
And so now I'll be happy to join. This was short enough. I almost just like DM'd you the other day and was like, "Hey, this is a weird thing that happens."
Nice.
But
Okay.
I didn't have the time and didn't want to just be out of nowhere be like, "You hear a weird voice."
Excellent. Well, I will see you
Yep.
back up in the other channel.
Mm-hmm. Good news. Mira's still here.
Yep. Still
Nice.
Which one was she?
Here. Hey.
Pretty sure that was the ship. Anyway, for pretty much everybody, this is a pretty uneventful hike. The Gravethorn has done a pretty good job of clearing a path, and even though Molo seems to have no trouble traversing this terrain, it looks like most of his prescribed path was going to be through this anyway. So, to him, this kind of just walking over the grass. It is a decently long hike, though. It's a little under an hour, and to the point where the terrain on the island is starting to change. It's lush jungle down here, but as you go uphill, you realize you're kind of climbing a mountain. It's not an easy hike, and eventually the foliage starts to give way. A little less swamp or damp foliage, and a lot more
Action.
arid, scorched. We're talking like open lava seams. Eventually, as you travel up the mountain, you do get a pretty good view of what the landscape has turned into as the foliage finally gives way to a pretty desolate peak.
Mustafar.
Yeah, that's a good reference. When Molo gets to there, he spends a few minutes walking along the edge where there's still a little bit of foliage. And thank goodness, finally, maybe hearing something in the distance, looks around for a sec before signaling for all of you to duck into a pretty well-hidden alcove. It looks like he has built this shelter out of some toppled logs and vines, just barely enough to disguise the thing, but you can see out of it very well. Pretty good hidey hole. However, as you start getting into the camp, we could barely call it that because it is sparse. It is a fire pit, a tarp, it is a bedroll, and there is a small box with a candle on it, and that looks like pretty much it. Molo doesn't seem to mind. As he makes his way back to his makeshift home, he pretty quickly takes his boots off and sets his weapons down and takes to laying on that bedroll, which may be the only furniture in the whole camp, so it's kind of rude of him. But as he lays down, he says, well, make yourself at home. We can leave in the morning. Find your Horifex.
I set up my bedroll.
I find a less lumpy part of the camp and lay down.
Yeah, there's enough soil that you can find a good place to lay. It appears that his plan of taking a long rest is he's at home. He's just going to fall asleep.
How close is he to that book?
It is still in his back pocket.
All right.
I'm going to wait for Holin, and then we'll see what happens. Which is also a good time for me to give my bi-weekly reminder of, hey, let me know if you guys can hear me eating this dinner, but I'm doing my best. Except for every once in a while where I go, ow! And then I forget I'm on mic. All right. I like it. The gloomy bar patron look. Yeah, I'm just gonna like sit against this wall with my hood hiding my face, and definitely nobody's gonna think I'm carrying a ring to Mordor. I appreciate that. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna look at this GIF, and it's gonna be exactly what I was thinking. Yeah,
Sure
that's
is.
me. Perfect. So, I'm going to roll this d4, and I want to see what happens. I'm going to do it publicly, because it's not like you guys know what this d4 is about anyway. We did
I
it.
take first watch.
That is good to know. This die was for Mira. He is lying in a position where that book is exposed. We'll say he is lying on his... Oh, I don't know my left and right. Why did I volunteer this? He's lying on his right side, so his left pocket is exposed where the book was.
Okay.
So, we are not going to get too far into this rest. Because of course we are. You think I'm going to give you guys one fight and then let you take a long rest?
So it's a short rest. Got it.
No, it's like 15 minutes.
My character
Oh.
sheet has full health. I don't know why my icon didn't, so I just updated it.
Seems fine. I've noticed that these tokens are not quite updating as fast as I would like, and that's fine. I trust you guys. About 15 minutes into his rest, he's probably not even actually asleep. Molo shoots up and says loudly enough you all hear whether you are starting to doze or not. He says, Cran? And he just like sits at attention for a few seconds. And when he finishes, immediately starts throwing things into his small box and tearing down the tent.
What's happening there, buddy?
We're leaving. Change of plans.
I quickly pack up.
Before we go anywhere, we haven't finished what we came to do.
Doesn't matter. Plans have changed.
Well, our plans haven't.
Changed from what to what?
The God's Feast is in a week.
Then we better move. We've got to get that protein. Besides, you didn't care to be involved and around what was happening when we first met you. Why are you so interested now?
Orders are orders. My orders were hunt for the guild. Now, they're come back to the guild. And he does this while still packing up. This camp is not going to last long.
Do we know where the... I forget the thing we're trying to hunt this time is. Do we know where it is? Or are we using him to get help on to find where it is?
We were using him to help us track it down, but now it looks like his plans have changed.
We should ask him if he can give us like a general vicinity of where this could be. Or at least a starting point. Maybe we could track it ourselves.
Wait, you still plan on dying out here?
No.
We gotta finish
aren't
getting all the
completing
materials.
mission.
Orders are orders, like you said.
You say that, Tyrus, and it's like the first time in this packing that he actually stops. You're really going through with this.
We have to.
Yeah, we don't really have a choice not to.
Not all of us quit when it gets hard.
That's cute. I've done my hunts for the day. Okay. I wish I could get a message back to the guild. But
I mean,
We still have some sending stones, I believe.
he doesn't wait. He just holds out his hand like he's asking for a piece of candy.
I give him my sending stone.
He squeezes it rather tightly, and talking definitely not to you. Says, Cran, I've got newbies. Do I have time for one more hunt? There is a fairly distinct pause while he waits. And when his eyes light up, a couple seconds later, all right. Fine. You got me for one hunt. Let's deal with your horror effects and get out of here.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
What a hunt.
Mira, I'm going to say, one of the last things he goes to pack welcome back.
Sorry, I lost you right as you said Mira.
Perfect. Well, I did say, Mira, I think that while he is packing, the last thing he packs is that crate, and it might be that him packing up that small box is the last opportunity he's going to give you while he shows you his backside.
All right, let me see how brave I'm feeling.
Go ahead.
If heads, you dive into it. If tails, you back out.
Does this have a flip a coin option? No. I'm just going to try it. What's the worst that's going to happen?
D2.
Yeah, a
Slash
D2.
roll 1d2.
Nope, we're just going to do it.
All right.
That's never gone horribly wrong.
19.
Nice.
Nice.
You know, that's not bad. I'm going to check his character sheet. And then I'm going to put down this burger so that I can roll die real fast. This one I am going to hide from you.
I hope you have a good excuse for when if he catches us.
it looks like, to his credit, you get a glimpse of the contents of this box, and we're talking, I mean, seriously, it's probably maybe a foot cube. It is very well packed. He is intent on making this small amount of space last. And, you know, like a middle-aged dad and his overly large wallet, I mean, you can't help yourself. The thing is just poking out of his back pocket. I don't know how many more people don't get their wallet stolen at Disney World. I mean, this is practically begging for it. It's just a 2-finger quick pinch, and you have something in your hands that I'm going to have to share as a Google document.
Well, I would
Google.
immediately tuck it away into one of my pockets, so I
Mhm.
will have to look at it later.
That's fair. At the very least, you should take a look while we're in combat. Not because Mira would be able to, but because you as a player, you know, you'll have a little bit of free time on your hands.
Are gonna
That's
want
just how
to.
combat goes. Share with... Oh, I super don't know your email address. Does this part work? Yes, it does. Hey, and now I know your last name!
Yep.
I was genuinely thinking this morning, like, wow, I don't know either of their last names.
How
I don't
is that
even know if they have the
possible?
same last name.
We do.
I don't know, I never think about it.
Don't tell him that. You just gave him free information about my name.
Yeah, half the time I don't remember his first name. And you are not an editor. You could be a commenter, though. And hopefully everything works right, and you will get an email here in just a second.
Woohoo!
But you now have in your possession a book. Probably more interesting than the one Holden has. As he stands up and looks to be fairly packed, he looks at you and says, "You're all going to die if we march out there, aren't you?"
I mean, we're still alive and we found you.
I don't plan on dying today
I like our odds.
or tomorrow.
He looks up and, as if he can see the sun, says, "Take another 30 minutes. Get patched up. We'll leave once everybody's good to go."
Short rest.
Short rest. I'll give you that much. I'm not
How-
a cruel person.
Do we do a short rest again?
That's the one where you can spend hit dice to recover health. And also, if you're a sorcerer, you get all of your spells back. But, you know,
Warlock.
warlock. That's what I meant. There's a reason I've never done it, because, ew, warlock. Wow. Well, I'm glad you guys are getting all of your crit rolls out of the way now. And then if there's any other preparation that you want to do, if you want to meditate or sharpen weapons or, I don't know, coat your weapons in some sort of anti-hunter poison for, you know, the inevitable backstab, say the word. But otherwise, I'll make sure you guys have just a bit of time to get all the hit dice back you'd like. And then we can take off. Go hunting. Oh yeah, that's fair. Yes, yes, you would definitely reload all of your weapons too. If you do any sort of cleaning and maintenance to make sure they're doing good.
The bar doesn't update, but the numbers do.
That's what I was saying. It's not quite as responsive as I would like, But once again, I trust you guys. It's no big deal.
Gosh, I was hoping just moving the HP just a little bit would help, but nope.
Yeah, that's fine. Look, we are a ragtag organization. We are not a famous indie developer like Blizzard Entertainment. So, it looks like a lot of people are close to full health, if not at full health. Or the bars that I'm looking at on a different screen are even less updated than before. And either way, that's funny for me. Also, not going to worry about it. I will trust, though, that you guys are roughly at where you would like to be. Oh, Holden's full health. Good for him. And we can go back to hanging out at the peak. Mola uses some of the time to finish tearing up the camp and making sure everything's packed away. He gets pretty much everything into that tiny box and then covers the box with some foliage so that he can find it again later. He also spends a little bit of time doing weapon maintenance and has a quick snack, but he looks like he's in hunting mode. So, as you guys are back on the peak, he guides you back out, and unlike before where he knew where he was going, he was following a path to get back to his home, as sparse as it may have been. This time, he is far more alert and attentive, really looking around, trying to figure out where is the Horrifex. So I'm going to have everybody who wishes to help with that make a survival check.
Nat 23.
What the heck? Ray, you did that last time too.
My survival is a 1. I don't think I'll be rolling for this one.
I have proficiency in survival.
That's a good one.
It is a +3 to my roll.
Okay. Well, we got 2 successes, or 2 great successes and 1 success. Because also, hey, Molo is helping a lot. But Rayun, because your number's green, you're the first one to notice. Oh, man, yeah, they're tracks. They're pretty clear tracks because normal animal tracks maybe don't melt the ground around them. But you spot a couple, and then Molo maybe catches your gaze, and when he walks over, you could see a paw print, maybe roughly the size of a dinner plate, a little bit bigger. Fairly canine in shape, and that imprint is seared into the ground. He takes a look at it and even eventually prods it with a gloved hand, and thank goodness it's cooled down. But he nods. This is what we're looking for. Should be close by. He looks left and right and says, yeah, you can see what little foliage there is torched. This one's running with a pack. Probably just 1 or 2 from the look of it.
Do these guys like to flank their prey and stuff like that?
Yeah. It's not a bad way to describe it. He stands up, dusts himself off, taking a look around, and he says, "Their Horifex are solitary animals. Not ambush predators. They are not afraid of starting a fight. When they travel in a pack, what they are traveling with is the sloughed off lava from their own skin, which animates into other canine companions. This one looks like it's got a pair of them, which is probably manageable. Ooh, took a risk on that one. Finished my burger. We're good to go. All right. Feel like a new man. I haven't had a Five Guys burger in years. I missed it. So he gets back to walking and says, "Keep an eye out. There's a few more things that we're gonna need to pick up if we can find them." And I'm gonna ask everybody to continue making a survival roll if you'd like to try and help out. Oh, and then I whacked my mic.
A 20.
Oh yeah, that's the good stuff right there.
There you go. Is it really a D&D session if I'm not crit failing?
This time, Brayun, it's Molo that's pointing you in the right direction. You guys find a lava flow, just exposed lava, and he takes the opportunity to walk along it like a riverbank. As he does, he very quietly tells you, "Now what I'm looking for is some sort of evidence that it stopped here for a rest. Yep, there we go." And he points not too far away, starts walking towards what look like some fairly fresh paw prints. These ones are still hot.
So it's close by.
What's more, you can see that all four, you see the front and back paws in these prints, and they are pointed straightly at the lava flow. He says, "You can see here, this thing was feeding before it went off to hunt, grabbing a drink probably. With how hot these prints are, we can probably find it pretty quick."
I'm gonna position myself in the middle of the pack, right next to, like, in between Glitch and Holden.
Makes sense? As he takes another look around, Molo says, "These things feed on the heat, and consequently each other. You're lucky we're only fighting one. A pair of these things is a nightmare." Can I get one more survival check, if anybody is so inclined?
Well, third time's the charm, I suppose.
Look, Rayan, you've rolled 3 decent rolls in a row. I'm actually pretty proud of you, because I was ready for that to be the one that you turned red.
Yeah.
But also, Tyre, yeah, this is a nice team effort. There are a lot of successes in here. And so it's not too long before... actually, Tyrus, you and Molo both pick up that there is definitely some sort of creature grumbling up ahead. Molo has mostly been following the lava bank, and it looks like perhaps so was the creature that you've been hunting. When he hears it, Molo immediately gets down on all fours. There isn't much in the way of cover, but maybe being low to the ground is at least something. Ultimately, you guys rolled so well on your guys' survivor rolls, with so few failures, except for Tyrus, that you guys don't. First off, you don't get ambushed, which is great because I literally just told you it's not an ambush creature. But more, I'm going to move you guys to the map and give you a bit of a description of where you find yourselves, which is at a nice elbow in the lava flow, where there is at this point no vegetation. Right, you have long since left the swamp and are just walking on other cooled lava flows. However, with this little cover, eventually you crest a small hill that probably once was a different lava flow, and even with Molo close to the ground, the lot of you can, as a group, see a very large obsidian-scaled, probably, looking canine creature. Feel free to reposition yourselves real fast. I was just slapping tokens on the other night. That's also part of the perk is you guys rolled so well that you get to position yourselves. You're welcome.
Wait, where do we see this creature?
I'm gonna make the token here in a second. I just want to finish that description.
Oh, okay.
You're seeing it from behind, which doesn't help, but just like before, it looks like the thing is probably lapping at that lava. And so you see the tail and hind legs. When it finally goes up for air, you see it spurt lava from its jaw, like the stuff that didn't make it down its gullet. And you even hear the crackling of that lava turning to pebbles and falling on the ground around it. You also get a good look at its face for the first time, which is a great opportunity for me to reveal the token. Because, like, hey, look, I can give you words, but eventually, hey, look, a picture.
There's a picture.
There's a picture. Oh, I forgot to spawn Molo. That's important. He's an important part of this party right now.
Mm-hmm.
Which is to say, no, he did not chicken out. When it goes up for air, Molo actually holds his hands up as if saying, "Hey, maybe we don't shoot just yet. I want to see something." And only a couple seconds later, emerging from out of the lava flow itself, are a pair of other hounds that did I really go with that token? That's not the right token. But it will be if I can't find the right token in the next 15 seconds. Nope, it's too late. We're going with that token. It's probably, that rock is probably a good 12, 15 feet tall, like jutting out of the obsidian. And then there's, a couple other small bits of cover here, but this rock that you guys are by is definitely enough that you can hide behind it pretty comfortably.
Would I be able to perch myself on top of it in a prone's position?
Uh,
I know prone is, technically bad.
Prone is technically bad, but I feel like when you're shooting, you can kind of get away with it. So I feel like that will be fine. My question would be, at this point, before I finish my description, if you guys want to take any actions and don't want to alert the Horifex, it's probably going to cost you a stealth check.
I definitely want to try to stealthy myself over here behind Holden. Like right in between Holden and the rock.
Sure. Positioning yourself, that's fine, right? Like, okay, you can shuffle over there kind of quiet. That's the advantage you got for having all those good survival checks. But, like, hey, if you want to set a trap, or if you want to climb a big rock, or, something like that, maybe that's going to require a check. I think
I'm going to
that's fair.
stay behind the rock until we engage, and then on my first turn, I think I'm going to climb up the rock.
Okay. That works
I'm gonna
too.
Try to climb up the rock now. Actually, never mind. That's not a bad idea.
I feel like I'm going to fail a stealth check, so I'm not going to risk it.
I feel like I could definitely make the stealth check. I'm worried about the athletics check.
Fair.
That's also fair. And I just wanted to double check real fast what kind of armor Tyrus is wearing. It's chainmail, okay. I always look at that picture and assume that you're wearing full plate.
I never did upgrade, but that was the goal eventually, to have full plate.
Well, it's not too late. Goodness knows you guys just got some Gravethorn parts, although I've already forgotten if you took Carapace or Fangs.
I took Mandible.
Mandible, yeah. Okay, well, can't make much armor out of that. Okay, so it sounds like everybody's going to hold. But, yes, you have a very nice rock. So, as the Horifex is finishing up its gulp, emerging from the lava is a pair of other creatures, also canine in appearance, but whereas the Horifex is a creature of flesh and blood and magma, these two creatures are definitely creatures of magma. Maybe born in a similar image to it.
Are they called magmuts?
They are not, but that is pretty good.
Magpups.
That's a pretty good name, Magpups.
Also, it's what a token. What a token.
Yeah,
Magpups for sure.
Magpups.
Molo will be able to whisper to, we'll say he will be able to get that to Holden and Rayun enough to ask, thoughts before we start?
Does
You rush in, do the best you can, and when you're dead, we'll jump in.
I'll follow your lead on this hunt.
Try not to get too close.
Does Umberwilk help? And I pull out my shield.
You know what? He gives you a look of admiration and a very slight nod.
All right.
He will, you know what? He will whisper before you go, and it looks like he's getting ready. He starts pulling out and stringing his bow. Says, try to take down one at a time. They'll pick each other back up if you don't.
Should we go after the smaller ones and then the big one, or?
Probably. But do the best you can. It's going to get messy. His bow is strung and he knocks an arrow and looks to Holden and Rayun with a look that definitely implies, just give me the word.
The
I'll
word is initiative.
initiative.
Well, look. Rolling initiative is for chumps. Taking
Sure.
surprise round actions is for first hunters.
This is true.
So, if nobody else is interested, he's going to take a shot.
I'll give him like 2 fingers and I'll just point out.
He actually acknowledges that as if you have practiced that before. He is going to take a shot at you.
R.I.P.
Oh,
Sav. Getting killed
Yeah.
by the first hunter.
Yeah, it's not quite what I meant, but it would be funnier. Like, that gesture doesn't mean what you think it means.
It means take me out first.
Take me out first if I die.
Okay. That arrow goes sailing, and rather, like, honestly, kind of satisfyingly plunks itself into the magmous underbelly of one of these hounds. And it definitely takes notice, but also, it's got an arrow sticking out of it very briefly. Kind of melts away, but it did damage. Oh, I forgot it did. Crap, I cannot do math. I'm sorry. I don't know how I got this far in life.
By choosing a profession that you don't have to do math on.
Gosh, ain't that the truth. Can see. You
Play
can't
into your
have
strong
it.
suits.
Okay. With a fierce roar that definitely signals to everything around that it's time to feast, the Horifex gives you the secret signal of it's time to roll initiative, boys.
That's not the initiative.
I mean, it says initiative.
Where is the counter
I'm
turn?
super happy that I wasted that 1 on
Oh.
initiative and not an attack roll.
That's true.
Turn order probably isn't going to work because I forgot to clear it because I'm really good at
works
this.
on our end.
Nice. I also wasted mine on an initiative.
Awesome. Awesome.
It was our survival checks.
Tyrus bad. Holden is bad. Mira's bad. We have 2 Tyruses, and I don't actually know if I can delete this.
Click 1 and hit delete.
Nope, I deleted the Horifex.
Oh no.
Oops.
Encounter over.
And just like that, we win.
Yep. So I'm going to
Gods
clear
are
the
in
list
our
and do this
favor.
manually. Because, sometimes I make mistakes, like every time we do initiative. Let's see. Tyrus, you got a 5. Really starting strong. Let's see. Mira, you got a 6. I'm proud of you.
I worked really hard on that, and you see, my initiative is plus
Mhm.
5.
Oh, dang, you're right.
That was literally the lowest I could possibly roll. Holden also got a 5, but at least his initiative is only plus 2.
And Rayun really showing us all up here with the 9.
The 9.
He's just to the nines.
I gotta
Low
do my
roll
own
Friday?
rolls.
Hopefully, this just means low initiative, high damage output.
Yeah.
I'll keep my fingers crossed for you, because I'm not rolling any better.
Now the real question
Well,
is,
hold on.
do the bad guys get to go before us?
Let's see.
Yes!
See, the answer is no,
That
because
makes
they're
sense.
monsters that I made, and every time I roll a monster that I made's initiative, the answer is abysmal.
These are baby initiatives.
What did the first hunter roll?
What the
Oh
heck?
man, this is amazing. Look at those rolls.
Baby initiative.
See, we didn't even need the high rolls. Tyrus, this is why we wasted our 1
Gosh
gear.
dang.
Nice.
Yes.
I am genuinely a little bummed about this.
This
Remember, this is
kind
the
of
same thing that happened in
amazing.
the Sphinx fight, where I was like, all right, cool, big monster time. We're going to cast some big spells. Initiative 2. Oh, no.
No.
It's amazing.
So, this happens, and I'm kind of used to it by now.
Well, it makes sense because we're ambushing them.
Yeah, we
Exactly.
can go with that. That you guys are just so on top of things that it doesn't matter that you aren't ready for the fight because they're even less ready for it.
This is freaking great. I love
Yeah.
it.
So I guess we're just gonna skip right to Rayun with an amazing 9.
Woohoo! I will take a free action to activate my shield,
Mm-hmm.
which gives me +5 to AC.
That seems pretty good. Although I admit I'm a little surprised you're not going with the other power, but they're both good, so
Gotta keep them in bay
that's true.
so that we can get some ranged pot shots at it.
Okay, well that's your free action, but you have other things to do.
That is true. Let's see. Measure tool. This is about as far as I'm gonna get. So I'll head up right here and I guess I'll wait to attack. Or actually advance dodge. Can I do that?
Absolutely. And
Do
I
it.
wasn't going to give it to you because we're pretty deep into the campaign, but I'm very glad that someone, and also you, remembered. It warms
Yeah.
my heart. All right. Let's see. If that's it for Rayun, let's go to Molo. Molo is going to kind of do the same thing you guys are doing, but honestly, he's a little more immediately brave in that he's going to kind of run forward and use his positioning. There it is. And so he is definitely going to roll better than he did for that initiative, because how could he not? Yeah, that's... Y'all, listen. Listen to me. First off, I've been saying y'all a lot, and it started ironically, and
It's a great word.
yeah.
And now y'all can't stop.
Just wait till you start using all y'all.
Oh, yeah. And now I'm going to roll this crit damage into that same hound. Publicly, I didn't even care. Because he is the first hunter, and of course, why would he not crit the monster that he just shot before?
Yeah.
Honestly, like, he's kind of making it look easy. He didn't even have to like put a ton of effort or really focus. Just pull back, release, and the thing goes right between the eyes. Knowing probably that that's maybe the last arrow that he gets for a little while, though, you see he sets his bow down pretty haphazardly and now has a greatsword in his hands. And with that, let's go to Mira. Mira,
Okay.
what are you up to?
I'm going to cast Shatter. And I'm going to cast it. I don't have level 3 slots, so at level 2.
Good
I'm
old
going to
loud
cast
noises.
it right here because this is 60 feet from me.
Mm-hmm. It sure does look like you're going to hit all 3 of those animals, though.
And have to make. It says a 10-foot radius sphere. Is that 10 feet? That I didn't measure. So if it's here, yeah, it will hit that one. It won't hit this one. It just hits this. the
If you
south
put it
one.
here, though, if you can make it to here, you can't hit both.
Nope, that's 65. It's 60 feet. This is the best I can do. I can do it here. I can do it here.
You
Okay.
could move first.
I
You
mean,
can move. You can move over a block,
Yeah.
and then you can move
fair.
immediately back.
I'll do that. I'll step forward. I'll put it here so that it hits all three.
That sounds good to me.
All right.
Uh,
You have to make
What
a
if I were to suddenly roll
Constitution
some
saving
saves?
throw. Yep. 14 or better.
Let's see. The full health hound does not make it.
Yes.
The wounded hound does, and the Horifex does not. Okay. Let's see. So that is 3d8 halved if they save.
Yes. Halved if they saved and full if they didn't.
Okay. So that's going to be
And
6
are
damage
they
here.
made of inorganic material? Would lava count as inorganic material?
You know,
Because they would get disadvantage.
I'm going to give that to you for the hounds.
Okay.
So I'll reroll for the one that succeeded. I don't have to reroll for the failed one.
Yep.
Yes, because the hounds are effectively made out of lava. And so that's going to take full damage.
12 damage to each. And we're on the board.
As somebody who also used Shatter a lot, it always feels really good when you actually get to proc that. Of oh my gosh, they get disadvantage because they're made of stone or water or something.
Yep.
An element.
I like it.
Holden. Unless Mira, there's something else you want to do. Sorry.
Ooh, I think I can do Bardic Inspiration as a bonus action. So I'm going to Bardic Inspiration Holden since he's right next to me.
Makes sense.
So that he'll get an extra d6. And that is the end of my turn. After I move back here behind Holden again.
There are a lot of ways that I feel like people could take Bardic Inspiration. In this instance, the first thing that popped to mind was you taking like an anime girl pose and a bunch of hearts fly up. And I was like, yeah, I could see worse.
Yeah, we're going to say that that's what happens. And
Perfect.
He blushes like anime style, where he gets like the hashtags on his cheeks.
Well, hopefully that doesn't accidentally go the other way and super distract him. Holden.
So you're Sailor Uranus. I will hex the big bad, debuffing strength. Take 2 shots with the heavy crossbow. And then hide behind this rock.
Okay. What were you targeting?
The big guy.
Okay, just making sure.
Mhm.
The first shot does not connect. The second one, I mean, let's be real. If the second one didn't, I mean, you're in trouble.
For sure.
Let's see. So that's a total of 17 damage.
Yes, sir.
That's not bad. Except that 7 is a really awkward number, so now I have to hope I did it right. And I'm going to definitely put this marker down to hopefully remind myself that he is hexed about a good old bleeding eyeball. Okay. Anything else in mind? That was a lot of actions, but I gotta ask.
Nope, move bonus and action. I'm done. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Tyrus,
I'm
we've
gonna
almost
climb
gone
up
through the whole catalog.
on this this rock, and perched up here, I'm going to shoot at this guy down here
Sounds good.
with the beam rifle.
Yeah, sure. Can't stop that one. That is enough. And I'm going to remove him from the map.
And then I will shoot at the other lava dog with my second attack.
Okay. Yeah. No sense in hiding it. A 28 definitely hits as well. For not quite Molo level damage, though. So that's good at least.
Well, I'm not the first hunter, so.
Anything else?
That's going to be it for now.
Sounds good. In that case, finally, I'm going to do some stuff. I gotta quickly check this. Okay. So, oh, nope, didn't want to close that. We're going to start with this here Lava Dog, because, not because, like, we're, the Horfex rolled a lower initiative or anything, but because he's clearly the minion. So, man, all of my stuff is closed down. There we go. We're just going to march this thing forward a decent amount. Or it is going to run. It's just going to bolt past to the lot of you and get to here-ish.
Nice.
Did I seriously close that? Gotta stop doing that. I keep losing all this important information. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, like Rayan, this thing standing next to you is definitely made out of lava. There's no question. That is lava. It is dripping. It is gooey. It is not that viscous. And it is incredibly hot. So, despite your incredible AC, I'm going to have you take a little bit of damage.
Oh,
By that, I mean a green
Hey.
number's worth of damage.
all right.
Now for the horror effects, though. Oh, yeah, maybe I should have done that the other way. That's okay. The horror effects is going to march forward, though, and is going to make a solid attempt, probably to eat. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with eating you. I will need to know what your TN is.
23.
23, that is going to be a tough one. That is going to be a challenge. But you know what? I believe in me. And I can only vamp for so long when I'm so inept at using this interface. Here we go. That's definitely a miss.
Nope.
And the second one is the same number. Oh, and he rolled with disadvantage, so because you are dodging.
Yeah.
That being said, at the end of his turn, I'm gonna have you take some damage.
And a 5 no less.
Yeah. Same as before. These things are. He was literally just drinking the lava, right?
Yeah. And because he failed, I can move away.
That's fair.
I think it's, what is it, 10? 10
Yeah.
feet?
Well, that will save you from the fire damage.
Yeah, at least from one, right?
Hmm.
I guess I move here, right?
That seems fine. Sure.
Yeah. I think that's probably where I need to be anyway.
On the other hand, I need to go to the GM layer and grab this with back at the token layer. This much health. And also that much health.
Oh. Need to down them at the same time.
And that is unfortunately going to be my whole turn because initiatives. So, we're going to go back to the top of the turn, and Rayun, your bonus AC, I believe, has worn off at this point, but you're still fairly tanky.
Yep.
What is your plan?
I am going to smack it.
Okay.
Let's see. Does 23 hit?
It sure does. Go ahead and roll damage.
Listen.
I mean, you know what's really sad is I'm about to roll damage back at you for that ability that I keep linking. And if I do more damage than you did, I'm gonna laugh.
Well, it's nice knowing everybody.
That's some lava damage, dude.
Gosh dang it, dude.
But you do chip away at him for 6 damage. Nope, that's the wrong way. There we go. I like the first time where I accidentally deleted him down to 6. And Rayan, you still have some bits of turn if you'd like to try and take him. Maybe you should action surge and attack it again.
And risk my life?
Actually, I don't know when your action surge resets, but I don't think it has yet, and I'm pretty sure you guys all used them last time.
Yeah, I did.
You get action surge back on a short rest.
Oh, short
Oh,
rest.
I do?
Okay, good. Great. So yeah, by all means, don't just like stick your hand all the way up in there.
Now I'm thinking of what to do.
Not too many animals that I can say that without it being dirty.
Right. I guess just hit it again. That's all I really can do. 17 hit?
Well, a 17 does hit the Lava Hound, yeah.
Alright. That's
Okay.
way better.
That is way better. I almost jinxed you and said, there's no way you could do worse than last time.
Good thing you didn't say anything.
I, on the other hand, I did actually do worse than last time. And now that you've taken a couple attacks, I'm going to ask, is there anything else you want to do on your turn?
Second wind?
That's probably good.
That's one. Let's see. It's 1d10 plus my thingamabopper. 3. Heal for 7.
All right. That makes up for it a little bit. But you still may need a helping hand here in a little bit, because if a couple of these dogs are still up.
Yep.
Let's see. We'll go to Molo. And Molo, much like yourself, is afraid of nothing. And especially considering I just made him draw a greatsword, which you would think would be a bad thing because I knew how these abilities would work. He is not going to give a crap. Nope, that's the wrong way. He is going to take a colossal swing with that greatsword, which is this. for man. That was a terrible roll, but doesn't matter. Oh, I didn't. I meant to roll that one publicly because it was funny. Oh well. He was maybe using one of my favorite talents, great weapon mastery, for
Yeah.
what if I don't hit as often, but I cut you in half. So, man, that's like one of those stories that is way cooler when you experience it than when you explain it. So I'm not gonna bother talking about how that went. Just know it was pretty cool. He does take a little bit of backlash. And then we go to Mira's turn.
Okay, so we need to take out the second dog before they get another turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know it'll
And it
get
looks like
disadvantage, and I can shatter one more time, but that'll be my last level 2 spell. So let's go ahead and do that right here behind those two. And the dog will get disadvantage.
All right. This time, now that you've said that, I'm definitely going to remember, even though I don't think mathematically it matters, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Oh, and
Because
I
gosh dang it,
go ahead.
did matter. But if you have something to add, by all means.
No, I didn't realize that it was rolling damage. I rolled damage the first time, but I didn't realize it was rolling damage when I was casting the spell, so I won't roll damage again this time. They'll just take 14 damage or half that.
14 isn't bad.
And I scrolled up to look, and I rolled a 12, and 12 was the damage, so.
Yeah, that seems all right. Well, we're going to make this thing definitely disappear for definitely the last time. And for the horror effects... Okay. He is not at disadvantage. I'm just rolling terribly. So that was 14. Ooh, okay. All right. That is another very successful hit into this thing.
All right, let me just do
Anything else we'd like to do?
check to see if I can do one more Bardic Inspiration. Did you use your Bardic Inspiration last time? John did not, so I'm going to give this one to Tyrus in case he needs it.
Okay. Well, speaking of John, why don't we have him take a turn for Holden?
Holden will jump out of the closet and scream, "Surprise!" Out of the supply closet.
Good save.
Double crossbow from Holden. I'm sure that the 10 is not good.
The 10 is not good.
Is 18 good?
The 18 is good. Yep, for 12.
And then we'll have Glitch come over to here and try to bite him.
Yeah, okay. That works. Not gonna try and front that one either.
I moved suboptimally. Actually, I can take my move after the attack anyway, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just there, so I'm adjacent to Rayun for defensive purposes.
That seems fine.
And then back behind the rock I go.
Okay. Let's do Tyrus then.
I got one move, and it's called shoot, and I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Bam! Use your your d6 for extra damage.
Oh yeah.
I'll use my d6 for extra damage
Woo!
because I forgot about that. Thank you.
Woohoo.
I just gave it to you.
I know, and I already forgot about it.
Here, I am going to do some backsplash damage to Glitch because I'm allowed. Glitch can take 6 whole damage.
Be super cool if I did that again. So I'm gonna try it again.
That does hit. So close. So close.
Dang.
Unfortunately, now it's my turn.
No, it's not.
Hmm?
Action surge.
Oh, you don't have one of those left.
Action surge.
Action surge. Short rest.
Yeah, I know. I'm just kidding.
Sorry. We're gonna do it. And hit him again.
Mhm.
And kill him.
That sure does seem like what the health bar is going to say.
Well, I assume I'm gonna kill him. I don't know for sure.
And let's be real. You guys have just laid into this thing with magic and mostly ranged attacks in a way that is incredibly effective. When you strike that last shot, it goes down and the front 2 legs weaken, its head hitting the stone for a second. When it takes its next breath, it lets out a colossal roar. And catches more fire? Let's go with catches on more fire.
We need some of that
Catches on more
protein
fire.
before it all burns up. Put it out, put it out.
More on fire catches.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
it's
could-
just like crisping it up.
Is it phoenixing or is it immolating?
It is definitely well, I mean, depending on the
How
phoenix.
Phoenix starts, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's more radiating a tremendous heat. The one of you that's close enough, you can see like underneath those scales, the stuff under there is probably burning like this is all it's got left.
Initiative.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It also doesn't stop its roar. Its roar just keeps going. And I'm debating whether I should link this or just start hurting Rayun.
Why not both? Because you're gonna do it anyway.
That's a good point. So from what you see, Rayun in particular, this creature conjures up sort of a column of fire around it. And as that column appears, you can see right away it is slowly starting to expand from around the Horifex. So I'm going to do that. I decided I am going to link the ability because it's only fair. And that is going to have Rayun and Glitch both picking up 2d6 of fire damage. Hey, I actually rolled bad on that. That's like the one thing I've been rolling good on tonight. But more than that, that heat appears to breathe some fresh life into a couple of friends of his. Not 5, 4. And here. And hits himself for a tremendous amount of damage. When that happened, I was really hoping that that roll would be a little more impressive, but that's okay. When he calls these lava hounds back, one of them creeps forward. It is clearly wounded several times over. Let's get this on the grid. The back one limps its way forward and just melts itself into the Horifex.
Ooh.
In doing so,
Phase 2.
G fuel.
we're gonna go with like kind of a phase 1.5. However, I'm gonna roll this much, which is how much fire damage that the Horifex takes. And the other lava dog is, well, is low on health, but also is made of lava. That's a tough one. He did not spawn in a great location, if I'm being real. Yep, we're gonna risk it. Lava Dog's gonna take a step away from Glitch. Yeah.
Ooh.
You know, I was hopeful, but there's only so much you can do. And that so much you can do is 2d6 splash damage. You do see, however, everybody that's paying attention to this, that the lava hound that melded with the Horifex seems to have returned some of that lava to it, and its carapace has gotten a lot thicker as it's covered in lava. So we're going to go to Rayun's turn, as you are now faced with this monster that's just channeling fire all around you.
Gosh, what do I do here?
I think it would be swell if you made 2 melee attacks at it.
I feel like this is a trap,
You should.
but I'm
No.
going to do it anyway.
Oh,
Oh my
gosh.
goodness.
Good luck.
Just kidding. Just
See ya.
I'm gonna go ahead and activate advanced dodge again.
Okay.
I'm going to also, one sec.
Yeah, I got all of the seconds in the world.
Sorry, looking at lay on hands real quick.
Sure. Just like Holden earlier. Just casually lay your hand on yourself.
Yep. I'm gonna link it real quick.
Sure.
I want to heal a number of points. Does that say it says 5 times my paladin level, right?
Yeah.
Is that for one point, or is
No.
it?
So you have a pool of hit points that is equal to your paladin level times 5.
Okay.
And when you lay on hands, you can spend any number of points from that pool. Welcome back. Rayun is touching himself.
Okay, thanks.
I'm laying on hands to myself.
Not that much better.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that heals you up a little bit.
Yep. And I do.
Oh, go
and
ahead.
I guess I'll stay close so I can move back. Essentially,
Hmm.
I will, and then I will end my turn because that's all I can do.
Sounds good. Molo is going to pick up his bow and is going to take some serious steps backwards. And that is going to be his whole turn because picking up a weapon is way harder than dropping it. And I guess he will also sheath his greatsword. That's a lot of things. You only do so many things in a turn.
Mhm.
So, Mira, how many things can you do in a turn?
Well, I can do. No, I don't have any more bardic inspiration, so that would have been my bonus attack, my bonus action. Sorry.
Mhm.
I think what I do want to do is put fairy fire on this guy if we're gonna have to fight him again. So let's go ahead and do that so that everybody gets advantage.
Seems good.
And I think that's my turn.
All right. Let's move on to Holden.
I think I'll go for a walk out from beyond this rock. 2 crossbow bolts with advantage, and then probably a glitch pipe, but we'll see.
Matt. Oh my gosh, I hate math. Okay.
37, I think.
Well, look. Some things just can't handle being shot in the face 6 times. Especially because one of those was a crit. Let's not ignore the fact that one of those was a crit. I would love nothing more than to give this poor Horifex a phase 3, but I can't. Holden, describe this kill to me.
Given how horrible and feared this was, I'd like to shoot it right through its open mouth as it roars, piercing out the back of its neck, severing its whatever attaches its primary neurons to its brain, and then just have it collapse ass over tea kettle, and then all of the built-up steam and pressure will pour out of the exit hole like a kettle.
Yeah, I can give you just about all that. That seems fine.
Also, that was a C. That note was a C.
Dang. I would love to have some third phase of, oh, and by the way, it explodes violently, but we're not going to do that to you either. Let's see. Okay, I did that right. Good. Yeah, that last bolt rings true, and the Horifex goes down. Pretty quickly, Molo walks up to you, Rayun, And as he whips out a fairly large knife, his eyes on the Horrifex, he's... Oh, credit where it's due. That was brave. And only a little stupid.
Rayun smiles at him and just taps his shield. We got to do what we got to do, right?
Now, before it goes cold, quite literally, Bolo starts carving into the thing.
I'd like to help.
Why don't you give me a survivor roll?
I also would like to help.
Remember, we
this
need
is a-
flank. Guys, flank.
This is a two-man job, so I will ask who would like to help him.
16.
I'm probably, well,
16.
16.
you know what? I'll let both of you help because it doesn't matter, and we can call it a team effort.
One of us can spot while the other just helps.
Well, actually, I rolled a d8 instead of a d20, but it doesn't actually matter because it was a very good roll all the same. While he's carving, I mean, this is actually kind of a nice, serene moment where it's just peace, quiet, and occasionally one of you just with a knife into this creature. His knife is actually doing a pretty good job of getting through that carapace, too. Not really sure how that works. But you could tell he's done this a lot and knows what he's doing. Both of you can. He starts talking like pretty consistently as he does. From the first knife strike, this was a pretty good hunt. I would have liked to hunt an adult, but that's okay. You'll probably be able to get what you need out of this.
Wait, this wasn't an adult?
Oh no, this is a pup. But like I said, as long as we can get a little bit of meat out of this, should be able to get what you're looking for.
Well, all right then. But pray tell, how big does this thing get?
Double?
Oh,
Realistically, there's probably one somewhere on this island.
well, best we avoid it and get back to Porta Maria, right?
Yeah, that's probably for the best. I did tell Crayon I'd just do one more hunt. Shouldn't get carried away with it.
Right.
He looks over the two of you and says, and I don't know. Maybe think about joining up with the hunters. Could use some hands like you. You certainly lasted longer than I thought you would.
Tyrus just nods at him.
I'd consider second hunter.
Like, you know what? He hears you say that. Taken. And then, like, kind of catches himself. Got a second hunter. Thanks, though. He gets back to his carving for a second. Says, probably for the best that we caught it unaware, too. If it does that fire pillar thing, when it's still feeling good, that gets real ugly real quick.
Ooh, so we caught it off guard. That's good.
The carving goes pretty smoothly. And with his roll, I should actually, this part is relevant. I'm going to just roll a quick d20. Publicly, because I'm not cheating, I promise. Huh.
Are you sure? Are you sure you're not cheating?
You know what? I'm going to use the first roll because it wasn't a 1. It was a 3, but it's not a 1. So between his survival roll and one of your guys' survival rolls, you will end up with 35 points.
Nice.
The items available to you are a flank for 10 points, a hide for 20 points, or a core for 20 points.
Well,
And you
we
can
know we have to
get
have
as
the
many as you
flank,
like.
So
Yeah. So
What if we
flank
got
and-
1.5 hides?
You know what?
ha.
I'm not giving you scraps on this one. You could spend it on scraps, they're not going to do much.
So flank and hide, I guess. That would be, I guess that would be
What
the
is
best.
what is the core useful for?
You could ask him, and
Hey, what's the core useful for?
he as he's carving, he just flat out like points at the core with his knife. Says, "You see something like that, and well, my first thought is you could bring that back to the guild and have one of the administrators put fire into your weapon.
Oh,
Probably use that similar to an Hourflame stone and make an alloy out of it. But well, that depends on what you're looking for." He nods to a decent sheath of hide that he's working on cutting. Says, "You get a good one of these, and well, especially if you pair it with that cloak or with that shield, you're set fighting things like this."
I think we should take the hide and the flank.
And the core for fire weapons.
Core sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd like a fiery crossbow.
Well, I'll
Yes,
tell you
I think
what, you have
Try's pretty due.
you have exactly enough points to get the core and the hide if you don't take the flank.
I thought you said we had 35 points.
35, and it was 10, 15, and 20.
Oh, I thought you said it was 10, 20, and 20.
I thought you said 10, 20, 30.
I did not say 10, 20, 30. No. But and if you want, I can go. Screw it. It's 10, 30, 50. Good luck. It's not even my fault. This is you guys doing it to yourself. You can't afford anything.
175 points.
You're lucky I'm
One and a
giving
half,
you the meat.
65 and 142. We have to get the quest item.
Yeah, quest item and hide, I guess.
What does
I
the
would-
hide get us?
Recommend the core for a fire crossbow for Try.
Well, I guess if you give me the sword, then he can have the core. From the acquisitions, I mean.
Yeah, that's a good point.
What sword?
There's a pretty sword that I've been having my eye on. It's I think it's the Rainbow Rapier.
Did you already have a shield though?
Well, yeah. Well, it was either the hide or give you the
I'm
core.
saying, like, how many things do you think one person should have?
Yes.
I'm pretty proud of the one thing I have.
Yeah, I'm very happy with the one thing I have.
I really appreciate that I got 2 waves of chuckles from Try.
I was going to elaborate, but I decided it might not be friendly for the stream.
Nah.
Oof. Well, it is a magical weapon, but it's either I take all the aggro or I do more DPS. Sorry,
Or somebody else in the group gets an item.
that is true.
Either I get the item or I get the item.
I love that math. Foob, have you ever gotten a requisition item?
I have a beam rifle.
Meg, have you ever gotten a requisition item?
I got the fancy harmonica.
Sav, have you ever gotten a requisition item?
Yeah.
You know who hasn't?
Hey, John, have you gotten a requisition item?
Sure haven't.
Oh, man.
I'm going to say, just for the sake of argument, that technically Mira has gotten a magical item that she has no idea how to use and has not gotten any value out of yet.
100% true.
So,
But-
not to stir the pot, but she has effectively not gotten an item.
She did get to choose the item.
That
I'm
is true.
totally
And
fine
buy
with
it.
going to Mira. I'm just saying we should everybody should get firsts before anybody gets seconds and thirds.
That
I
is
agree with
true.
that.
That is true. Yeah.
I'm okay with this one going to Holden. That harmonica is going to end up being our savior at some point. It was not on the session where we all got high, but it
I
could
don't
still
plant these seeds lightly.
My vote is
Actually,
core because that's going to be a valuable weapon. Whether the weapon is something that we give to Mira so that she can be competitive with Tyrus and I for DPS, or whether it goes to Tyrus or I so that one of us just is like carry DPS. I don't really.
I
have a-
think it should go to Holden.
I am 100%
Yeah.
a support class with the bard, so I'm totally
Yeah,
okay.
A
that's
fire
true.
crossbow would be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
All right, well, all right, flanking core. You walk away with a. Actually, it is fairly similar in look to the Hour Flame Stone that you had before. His comparison was pretty apt, except roughly the size of a soccer ball. And then a flank of meat that is large enough that one of you could sit on it like a chair.
Whoa.
You probably shouldn't because
Hey,
it's
Rayun,
still
don't eat this
very
one.
warm.
It's not an apple.
No. No. I know. I know.
But to his credit, the first hunter does. He doesn't procure a usable hide, but he does put together enough scraps to make a carrying apparatus so you guys can hold this meat and core. And slings them over his back. Says, well, we better get going.
This is true.
Let's go.
He does stop by camp and pick up his crate of supplies. And then you guys have a good several hour march back down to the shore. Thankfully, you haven't been on this island for too long. However, it's going to be a bit of a trek back. I'm going to bring us back to... Nope, not Satir. That's a long ways from here. Oh, nope, I just left Roll20. Great. I'm so used to, I want to go back. I hit the back button on my mouse. And so I wanted to back out of a menu, and I forgot I was on a web page. Let's see. We'll go to the Porta Maria map, and I will even bring everybody here. And I will point out, you guys are way the fudge down here. When you get back to your ship, the crew is actually pretty good spirits. And Brendan comes out from the captain's quarters to meet you. He sees the first hunter as well, but is more focused on the lot of you. Says, well, how'd it go?
Mission success.
Good news. You were back so soon I was worried there was a problem.
Well, we did have help.
Nice to meet you, sir. So we headed back to Porta Maria then.
Yep, all of us.
All right, well, we can't take the strait. Ship's too big, and truthfully, I'm afraid that I would get us cut to ribbons. So we'll have to go the slower route. It'd probably be three and change days.
Sure.
Should still get us back in time. Well, in plenty of time for the feast, though.
And that's all we'll
Is
need.
there
I
any
think.
preservation concerns with the flank from the Horrifex?
You know what? I'm going to say no, because even though that is a very real concern, I don't feel like it. So what we're going to go with is, this thing never actually cools down.
Nice.
And so bacteria, not really worried about it. And
Stays
it's
at a
fantasy
crisp
world, so
170 degrees.
it's well above 170 degrees.
Nice.
But also we live in a fantasy world where we don't know what bacteria is. So, we're all good. I am going to ask for a 5-minute break because I hit the point where I have to use the restroom so bad that I'm wiggling in my chair.
Oh my goodness. Okay, you got it.
So
Yeah.
let's take a
Let's
5-minute
take a
break.
break.
We'll come back and we'll do some sailing.
Hello, my darling. If we are all back, I will unmute the stream and start it again. All right.
Hot new game that's taking on the nation, and I can't play it, and I'm mad.
Why
It's like a
can't you play
broom.
it?
It sweeps the nation.
Because I have no free time because I work 12-hour shifts, and when I do have nights off, I am running a role-playing campaign.
True.
I think it came out of early access today, and I also am perfectly content to wait for it to come out of early access. But it's the It's the game that's been talked about for years as it's Pokemon with guns.
Yeah.
And it's certainly
Those are
way
just
more than
Pokemon.
that, but
Straight up, just Pokemon.
pretty much.
Holy shit!
Uh-huh.
But that's a Pokemon right there with an AK-47.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just picked up the Dragon Races for Outland.
Mm-hmm.
Netherstorm is kicking my butt.
Okay.
And I think Netherstorm is technically the hardest out of all of them, but I haven't like tried the other races, but it's seeming like people are getting stuck in Netherstorm.
Have you tried going faster?
Yeah, there's a lot of like skill with the skimming that I'm like trying to get across. And what I'm trying to do is like skim as much as I can like on surfaces,
Mhm.
and then boost my way, but I also have to have enough boosts to propel me forward while also keeping speed.
For as much as I like dragon riding, which I really, really do, the minutia of some of those races has kept me away from the pro tier.
Yeah, it is a big skill curve when it comes to like the Netherstorm races,
Mm-hmm.
because like which one was it? It was the Tempest Keep sweep. That one is very, very tight in how you maneuver around it. I barely passed it with 1 second, or 1 second under gold.
Mm.
Because
All
if you
right.
go over, then it's silver. But
It has. And we'll get back to our sailing adventures. And our sailing adventures start with, and we're going to sail for a little while. I don't think you guys are going to need to stop anywhere. There are a couple stops if you would like to take them, but I imagine everybody's okay with just beelining it back to Porto Maria. Maybe if we had a few more weeks and some sweet side quests to do.
If we have 3 days, since I have the book, I would like to return it to him, ideally before he realizes that it's missing. But my plan is to transcribe what I found in it so that I can pour over it later and
Yeah,
discuss it with the
the
group if
trans.
needed. But then I'll need to find a way to like sneak it back into his stuff. But 3.5
Sure.
days gives me plenty of time to do that.
Absolutely. You can absolutely transcribe it. That is not a problem. You can try to just like blunt force sleight of hand, slip it back into his stuff, or if you have something more creative, feel free to let me know.
If there's any point where he doesn't have his stuff with him, I'd prefer to just put it back with his things.
He does take a cabin, and it drops off his fairly meager belongings there.
Excellent.
But he seems actually pretty content hanging out on the bowsprit, like on the bowsprit.
legs crossed and everything.
No, he's kind of like laying on it.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll say his room door maybe is a little bit locked,
Okay.
so it's not free, but
Is there a is there a window inside the room that I could sneak through from the outside without him noticing?
Yeah, I'll give you that. There's a nice like cruise ship porthole window.
I'm pretty small. I think I could probably make that work.
Absolutely. That would probably end up being acrobatics then.
Excellent.
I like when I say something random and it works for you guys. Half the time I'm like, that'll be religion, and you're like, gosh dang it.
I
Oh,
think most
I
of
am
us
plus 10. And I am
Oh.
proficient in it.
You know what? That does hit the number that I was aiming for, but I was sorely tempted to be like, yeah, no.
Thank you for your discretion.
It did hit the number though, so you know, you're welcome. But it is enough that you just kind of squirm your way in. I'll say with that particular role, maybe there's a bit more grunting and effort required than if you had like nat 20'd that. So maybe a couple deck hands will hear of some weird noises from outside the hull.
That's fair.
However, yeah, you get into his room. It is as sparsely decorated as the camp was. Of there's a box and a couple of weapons. And yeah, you can absolutely return that book to probably the box.
Excellent. Even though it was in his pocket, like on his person, wasn't it like kind of falling out of his pocket when I got it? No,
It was.
I'm not going to overthink it. We're going to put it in the box.
Yeah, it'll probably be fine. Look, he'll just be happy to have it.
Perfect.
This is like, we're not even talking game logic here. I'm talking the sort of logic that I would have if I lost a keepsake, where,
And
okay,
you found it.
Max, what did you do with it?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just like mad at myself, and then, oh, of course it's here in this place that sounded like a really good idea. I had that this morning. I was looking for some models that I was trying to paint, and it turns out I had put them right next to my spray painter,
Right where
and then
you
I
would
spent
need
10
them.
minutes looking for them.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly, right where I needed it.
Mhm.
But I was like, there's no way I put it there, so instead I'm going to tear my office apart looking for it.
Nice.
Anything else that you guys want to take a look at or do or take care of while you are sailing the seas? This is a travel segment, so feel free to tell me no, and I will
Yep.
scoot us along.
That was it. I just wanted to make sure that we had that transaction completed before we
Mm-hmm.
got back into the city and he disappeared.
Yeah, that's fair. Or at least until he noticed.
Exactly.
He'd
Yeah.
probably come hunt us down. All pun intended, yes.
And then Meg, I hope you at least like checked out the title and got an idea of what you were looking at.
So I think I would like to read the whole thing and then decide what I want to do with it next session. But I definitely am noodling.
No, I mean
noodling
like
some
you as a
things.
human being, I hope you looked at that email and have an idea of what you've been holding on to.
Oh, I will open it right this very second.
Yeah, that's fair. In the meantime, yeah, we can make a nice, gentle sail northeast back to Port Maria.
Oh, no.
There it is.
Excuse me, I'm going to read this.
Yeah, that's fair. Porto Maria is incredibly busy. When you got here last time, it was actually kind of a little busy, but this is a whole nother level. And the difference here is as you even get within like a few hours of Porto Maria, you start having trouble with navigable waters because there are so many ships. And a lot of them are Culinarians Guild ships. Big old banners, the color schemes match. You can see people in Culinarians Guild attire and regalia who are sailing or working the ships. Like, it's clear. The Culinarians have come home because, oh crap, the feast is here. As you get to Porta Maria itself, you see not only all of those culinarians and Porta Marian citizens, but also where previously you had seen a number, like an unusually high number of Telemarian acolytes. Now they're everywhere. Those people in those green robes are walking the streets almost to the point where you can't not run into them. It takes you a good couple hours to finally moor at the port because there's no space. You have a fairly large ship, and finding a dock that would hold you takes a little while. Brendan eventually gets you into place, and it looks like he's taking the navigator / captain position pretty serious. Like he's got getting that down. So that part goes well, and he starts issuing orders out to get people to unload the ship and resupply it, take care of any maintenance, and also paying taxes, because don't forget to pay your taxes. That's important. That keeps my job afloat. But to the lot of you, in the midst of all of this, he says, well, as for you, I'm not giving orders to you. You're free to hit the city wherever you like, and if you need the ship, we'll be here waiting for you. Molo doesn't offer you anywhere near that level of courtesy. By the time you get to the port, he already has his equipment on, his box in hand, and he doesn't wait for the gangplank, but leaps off of the ship and onto the dock. But he does give the group of you a decent salute before he does. Like, particularly Rayun and Tyrus. He makes eye contact with you before he walks off and is lost in the crowd pretty quick.
And he's gone.
And he's gone. You know, for now. Nobody's really gone.
We'll just see them in the background later.
Yeah. That's actually probably true. I moved you guys to the scene and forgot there were people here, so I'm just going to pretend that these guys are not here right now. I was just like, I want to put you guys at the docks. Oh crap, there might be things at the docks. However, at this point, the city is yours, metaphorically. What's your guys' plan from here?
Head back to our culinarians.
Deliver the protein and make sure that they have everything that we need to complete the dish, and see if there's been any news.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That all makes plenty of sense. So,
Maybe put a requisition in for a flaming crossbow.
Mm-hmm.
you know, that also makes sense. We'll call that another step. But
It's like
how
step
about,
2 or 3.
yeah. How about first we go to Ranmar's lab? There's Ranmar's lab. What do I have here? Only good things. Great. Now I'm looking before I leap. Look at that, I'm growing. Welcome back to Ranmar's lab, guys. You have done this walk plenty of times by now, right? You know your way around town, and once you get away from the docks, the crowd lessens a little bit. Not a ton, but a little bit. Enough that you're able to get through and make your way. And Ranmar's lab is not actually open to the public. So as you get closer, okay, yeah, there's not a lot of foot traffic here, and you can make your way in. Ranmar and Pelna are both working pretty hard on something? Question mark. Pelna in particular, you see as you walk in, she immediately makes eye contact with the first person to walk in the door, who I've decided, because that's how they're oriented on the map right now, is Rayun.
Hey guys.
I'm gonna have you guys roll insight, because I think this is interesting and important. Ooh. Okay. Mira and Tyrus, you definitely pick up on this. Maybe Rayun and Holden are holding all of the loot, but Pelna is uncharacteristically jumpy, and maybe turned to see who was walking into the lab very quickly. When everybody sees her put on a smile, you guys have been around Pelna at this point a few times and know that that's not Pelna's smile. She's got a serene smile. That's some other kind of smile. Ranmar puts down his implements first and approaches. Well, look at you. Back very quickly. Oh, you must have gotten the news. Oh, you have great timing. The feast is coming.
Do I see any of our companions around right now?
I mean, not right now. There is a whole second floor, and I'll even give you that you can hear there is some activity upstairs.
While while Rayun is talking with I'm sorry, Ranmar, thank you. I'm going to kind of walk quietly over to Pelna and put one hand on her forearm and just whisper quietly, "You seem distressed. What's happened?"
She initially recoils at your touch, which is, again, very uncharacteristic. But she looks at the group. Once again, she looks pretty intently at Tyrus for a second, and then turns to you. You could practically see her shrink down, she loses a couple inches before she says, "We can't find Andromeda anywhere."
Don't you worry about
What do you,
that. You focus on the dishes and we will find her. And then I'm going to give Tyrus one of those "don't make a scene" looks.
So sorry, we tried to keep track of everyone, but she was supposed to check in days ago, and she never came, and nobody at the guild has seen anything, and I don't know what we can do more to help. Ranmar cuts her off and says, I have to admit that she's right on this one. We've expended most of our contacts at the guild, and it seems that nobody has seen hide nor hair of the girl.
What was she doing or where was she going when she disappeared?
Hold on, sorry, I gotta yell at my cat. No, stop that. so sick at that. There is a shelf on the bookshelf that she likes to hide in because she's scared of everything. And then I go to pet her, she gets in the nook. And then I ignore her, and she comes out and asks for pets. And I try and pet her, and she goes in the nook. And then we do this for 10 minutes, and I get mad. And now that's on the internet. The whole internet knows this cat is broken.
But give me loves. But no, not right now. Not those kinds of loves.
Not right now.
But give me loves.
I am waiting on pins and needles for Tyrus to finish typing, but that's not actually why I was giving that. I was actually just mad at my cat. However, that turns out Tyrus was saying exactly what I was going to make you guys try and roll dice for. But since Tyrus mentioned it,
I mean,
that was
they are
actually
soulmates.
I know my
Makes a lot
waifu.
of sense.
What do you expect?
Yep, mhm.
that was actually something you guys discussed with her when you got back to Porta Maria. Is she mentioned, hey, sphinxes serve gods. I could go like talk to the Telemar contingent and see if they need a sphinx.
Right.
And I think that was the last time you guys saw her.
Yeah.
We specified a dead drop area for information, right?
Of course we did.
Well, I think this was the dead drop.
Yeah, I don't remember a specific on that. I think there's no harm in saying that you probably would have done that of like, don't forget the secret meeting place, which is, the place that we brazenly walk into all the time, aka this lab. But given that, she is not reported in.
Can I go through her stuff to see if maybe she left a note behind or something?
Dude,
Wasn't
maybe come on,
Primrose making green robe costumes so that we could blend in and get information from some of the followers? So we could maybe use
that is also
those-
true.
We could maybe use those to infiltrate the area or find our friends and see where the god and his entourage are collecting, because that's likely where she would be. But we have some options for finding her.
That is all true. Ranmar nods as you go over those options. That does sound wise. Perhaps it'd be best if we put together all of the resources that we have. The poor girl couldn't have gone too far. Well, no, actually, given the time thing, that's not actually true. But I'm confident she didn't. That's what's more important. In the meantime, not to make this about me, because I do understand the severity of the situation, but I see you have a large package over your shoulder, and I hope that is a victorious protein for me.
I guess I'll be holding the flank, so I'll just hand it over.
He takes it from you, struggling a little bit when he takes the weight of it. And by the way, yes, Tyrus, I did giggle at that. And he's, well, I was hoping for a bit more off of this, but this will be more than enough for the dish. I'm sure of it.
We
I'll
ended
need
up. Oh, sorry.
I'll need to butcher it quickly, because we're going to need plenty of time in the combustion pot. The thing is a miracle of a machine, but even so, trying to cook a meat that's already this hot is going to be a challenge. All right, let's get to it. He walks towards the back of his lab and starts hacking at this thing with knives that, honestly, look, you guys have cut into this thing before. You wouldn't be surprised if normal knives melted, or at least like warped a little. But he is going at this with a fervor that you have not seen from the man yet, and the man has loudly yelled at you to get his combustion pot back. While he goes to work, Pelna just takes a seat at one of the tables and says to Mira, because Tyrus is not in the room, I'm so sorry, but I promise everyone else is accounted for. And, well, I'm sorry. Tyrus, since you asked, yeah, sure, you can root through Adrama's stuff. Totally normal thing to do in an early stage of a relationship.
I mean, she's missing.
She has a decent amount there, but like, it's really just like a few sets of clothes and some basic supplies. She was traveling pretty light before this. But pretty much everything is where you would have expected it to be, right? Clothes are in the drawer. No like secret items hidden in the drawer. I'm not going to make you make rolls for things that aren't there. No secret notes or anything left in the bedding. This room is pretty tidy. Maybe as if she didn't get a chance to sleep there.
I will go check on our companions.
Yeah, while Tyrus is rooting through Andromeda's things, Rain, yeah, on your side, checking in on the other rooms, Primrose is doing a pretty good job of wrangling the other children. Neko and Kozu are both being well attended, even while Primrose is getting a little bit of work done.
And what do we have here as I walk in?
They light up at you like their father has come home. And I was going to say that in a different way, and then I was like, screw it. One of them doesn't have a father. The other one doesn't have a father. It's close enough.
Nah, close enough.
Primrose is smiling, though, and says, they've been just dying to see you again. I'm so glad you made it back.
Yep, said we'd be back in, semi one piece. I think some of my pieces are charred.
I never doubted you. Yeah. We've been working on the disguises, and they're going pretty well. And she points to a couple of. There are currently 3 of these sets of green robes that are hanging on, well, not on dummies, but on like coat hooks.
Oh, cool. I'll like graze my hand like on the fabric of the robe, just to like look at the designs and stuff like that.
You know what? Listen, you are not a professional seamster, but these seem pretty all right.
Yeah.
You wouldn't wear these out and expect for them to last 10 years in the wilderness, but they'll last for a week as a disguise. Sure.
Yeah.
Going back down to the conversation downstairs, Pelna kind of shakes her head a little bit, like she's trying to change the channel on her brain, and says, so we never got a good answer. Did you hear about the feast?
I'm not there to start the conversation.
She asked, sorry, to Mira and I guess Holden are the only 2 that are left in the room.
We are here because of the feast. Is there any news regarding it? We just got into town. We're here to help Ranmar with any last minute preparations of the Horrifex flank, but has anything new happened since?
It's good that you got back when you did. I don't know if we could have finished the dish if you'd waited a couple days longer.
came as quick as we could.
Then we're lucky you did. The Herald announced to the guild a few days ago that Telemar's crusade ended early. Sounds like he was victorious and also ahead of schedule. And so he is going to arrive tomorrow and then has requested to sleep for 3 days before the feast. So we have 4 days from now.
That should be plenty of time for the cooking to finish, yes?
Ranmar shouts from the other side of the hall. It will be close. This is not an easy protein to cook, but this combustion pot of mine, it can do miracles. Pelna nods and says, thanks to your efforts, my trifle is already complete. It's being held at the guild hall and is awaiting serving. Right now we're just waiting on Ranmar, which is not a slight, just you can tell she's still kind of down about things, but she keeps trying. She gives her head another little shake. But the feast, the guild has been preparing, and it sounds like there's going to be an address when Telemar arrives tomorrow. From the sound of it, with the number of acolytes in the city, the Herald is going to call Telemar directly to the Guild Hall Square, rather than a private arrival or something.
Is there any requirement of the Culinarians Guild for this arrival ceremony?
Do you mean to attend, or
prepare for? Are we responsible for anything there?
No, the guild is ready, and we're thankful that he's choosing to arrive now and then sleep. That gives us a few extra days, so long as everybody's quiet on their feet, to prep the guild hall and the feast. I genuinely think that as far as the competition goes, your role might be over in the eyes of the guild.
I'm sure my team would agree, but we stay through till the job is done. We'll be here should you need us.
Thank you for that. You would, of course, be free to go. You were free to go at any point, but I think all of the teams will be allowed to be present at the feast, and are allowed to be on hand while we serve Telemar. So it's a rare honor. You will, well, not necessarily able to join the feast. I don't know how the food is going to go for everyone else. Well, I hope they don't expect us to stand there hungry. Dear.
Small price to pay.
Right. Yeah. So, I think that is going to be a part of this. I'm sure Ranmar would agree that we would love to have you there for the serving, and well, I think that's all I can think of. You as associates will also be allowed to be there for Telemar's arrival at the Hall Square. Just because of the size of the event, it was limited to just acolytes and Culinarians Guild personnel.
We
We're
wouldn't
excited
miss
to
it.
be included.
Great. I'm sorry. I hope you don't mind if I go and help Ranmar a little bit.
No, that's
I'd like
fine.
to
Is there
be helpful
anything
if I can.
I can do for you?
No. I'm just worried about Andromeda is all.
All right.
And she makes her way back up to where Ranmar is working. You both see, he doesn't hide it too much, that in the midst of all of his butchering, he stops for a second to give Pelna a firm hug with the hand that is not holding a knife before getting back to it. So, especially now that we have Tyrus back, I'm going to ask, is there anything that you guys plan on doing today? Anything with looking for Andromeda? Anything to do with the council investigation? I guess I could probably check off that Horifex quest, although you haven't technically turned it in yet, so there's still loot. So I'll leave it there for a second. But yeah, is there anything that you guys would like to do? Oh, I guess including the Andromeda investigation too. That's on the list now. I'll add that.
How long would it take to upgrade a weapon?
If you put in your order now, it would probably take at least a day, maybe 2.
Maybe that's something we should do with the core.
We could do that and turn in the Horifex quest and just ask around and see if there's been any new developments outside of what Ranmar and Pelna know.
Okay. Well, I promised that I would keep this in mind, but because people's throats are hurting and we've entered what could be a really long talky bit, why don't we end this here for the night? And that'll give me time to theoretically, hopefully, maybe put some stuff together for a next session, and everybody else plenty of time to recover.
My throat appreciates that.
Yeah, I heard it there at the end where I was like, oh, yeah, okay, we got to cut this like now.
I've been trying to stay muted so that I'm not interrupting us.
No, it wasn't like coughing or anything. I just heard like one of the things you said. It had that croak at the end where I was like, oh no, I know what that sound is. But that is some phenomenal forward progress, and I'm very happy for you all.
I'm so excited,
Important
it's almost here.
It's almost here. The God's Feast, the thing I've been telling you about all this time, is finally going to happen.
Yay!
Eventually.
I want to
Sorry, what's up, Zev?
Oh, I was gonna say, and Morithos is here too.
Morthos is probably somewhere. If at any
gonna
point
be
X
on-
ever clicks that sandwich,
He's going to be on babysitting duty hanging out with Kozu.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I said hi to Morithos as well.
Mm-hmm. Currently, we're looking at February 2nd for our next game. I have nothing else going on because my schedule is set in freaking stone.
Works for us.
Yeah, works for me.
I think that.
And let me know in advance as much as possible if something comes up, and I will see if there's any wiggling I can do. There isn't much, but I'll try. But also, as your homework, maybe just think about, well, Meg, you have extra homework because you have some reading to do.
Yeah, I do.
But as for everybody else, think about what you want to accomplish with these 4 days and what goals you have regarding all of the outstanding quests you have. Because we're going to probably be doing a lot of talking, and there are a few different things here that you can investigate. And it would be good for you guys to just think about like who you want to talk to, what you think is most important, like where your priorities are, so that we can really dive into this investigation part. And on that note, I love you all. I hope you guys had a great time and have a great night.
Good night.
Sounds good.